Hi, this is Max. I'm back with another CSR2 video. This time it's the Vorsteiner Cayman, this season's Prestige Cup car. I'm going to quickly show you the effects of individual stage 6 on this car, starting with body and moving to the right. So with just the body installed, the car's dyno tuned is a 8.946. With no S6 installed, you're actually looking at about a 9.16. So that's a pretty decent drop in performance. Then once you see that, you can compare that one to some of the others that are available to you. If I can get to the right ones, here we go. Let's refit tire. What I found is that most of these are not substantially off from each other, but the Evo points kind of tell the tale once you install a part. If the Evo points are not really going up over 700 something, it's obviously going to have less effect than the car's parts that will kick the Evo over 700 once installed. So this one puts you at 8.99. It's certainly not a useless S6. It's pretty good, in fact. It's almost, again, almost 2/10 drop, but it's not as good as body. Transmission is next, and once you install it, you see the PP jumped up quite a bit. Evo moved a little bit. So this one is probably on par with tire, but a little better. Again, you have to tweak the final gear to see if you can eke out some more points out of it. 666, 7. Looks like 7 may be it. And that, without tweaking the tires, gives you a 9.042. So it's a little bit weaker than the other one. Trans is not as strong as body, and certainly not as strong even as tire. Right, so right now it's body, tire, trans in that order. Let's take a look at the next one, which is engine. Let's put trans back. Let's look at engine. Now engine may be a biggie, or it may not be. Let's see what the Evo points tell us. The question is whether the Evo points will jump up if you tweak it. If it does, then it's a good sign. If it does not, then it's probably not much better than the other S6s that you just did. 9.081. Not a whole lot there. It's not as good as even the ones before it that are getting into almost the 8.9s. So engine is not very strong on this car. That's only about a 1/10 drop from the stage 5 only setup. Let's look at turbo now. Again, you can almost figure out turbo is going to be a little better than engine because of the Evo point change, right? Well, it's not as simple as that. Sometimes even with the Evo looking higher, the base modification of the part does not give as much of a change on the performance as you may think. So in fact, in this case, because the PP level isn't the same, and plus you're losing a little bit of performance just from the modification itself, it actually comes out kind of a wash. It's not that good. So turbo is on par with body, not really that great. And certainly by itself doesn't get you under even 9 seconds. And that is again with full fusion. So right now we know body is definitely a big one. The tire is a big one. I'm pretty sure nitrous is always a big one for lower tier cars. Looks like intake might not be all that bad either. Intake may actually outperform both engine and, well, even without tuning, it's outperforming turbo and engine because you can tell from the Evo points it's higher. So the question now is, can I get it to? No, looks like I'm pretty much stuck at where I have it, which is a 9.055 earlier. So again, by itself, unable to get into the 8s. So those 3 right there would probably have to come in combination for you to get through even race 28 to get that extra S6 versus, say, one of these guys may be able to get you through all by itself through race 28. Certainly, nitrous is going to be a big one. Nitrous on this car, from just driving it, tells me that it's very effective and useful. So nitrous is a big one. 8.951 all by itself gives you a nice drop. So that, now that you've looked at that, you can start to feel for the combinations that'll get you through. Anything like these guys here, body, tire, trans, with the nitrous S6 probably will get you through to the end, because individually they're already putting you in the 8.8s. If they bump you past 750 Evo points with the 2 installed, your dyno should be somewhere in the 8.7, 8.6 range. That'll definitely be able to do all the way to the end, because this car does beat dyno when driven properly. And that 8.7 dyno will end up being closer to an 8.6, low 8.6 than 8.5 run, depending on how well you drive it. So the way it seems to be driven the best is kind of launching, and then launching perfect, shifting to about second at a right around 20 miles per hour, let second gear run almost to the end, then you're gonna shift and skip shift to fourth and nitrous, and then non-perfect shifts, basically deep good shifts to the end. That produces some of the best runs. That's not the world record run right there or anything, but it'll be good enough to get you through the Prestige Cup. So if you're driving it regularly, like you would a normal car where you're letting it run through each gear, you're not going to get nearly as good a time. Let me show you what happens when you drive it like a normal car. Even if you launch perfect, and let's say you let it ride through first, second, nitrous in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So that's how you would normally drive, right? That's the normal way to drive a car. But if you drive it that way, it's going to be slower. And that's a problem. You're not going to be able to beat the final numbers that way. So you got to drive this car properly. It has a rather unique way of driving that's not intuitive to the average player. Most people who know this one is because either they saw it on Facebook or because the Cayman GT4, the regular one, drives in a very similar form. So that is right there, two strong S6s getting right through the challenge. Now you could do it also, I believe, with tire and nitrous. Just look at the Evo numbers, that tells the tale. If it's over 750, no problem. Transmission. Now transmission's a little bit weaker. Remember, it's a 9-second thing, so this is going to be a little touchier. It may not make it, but because you have nitrous, you could still do it, because nitrous by itself gives you such a nice Evo boost that even though it's at 8.830, there's hope. Now, there might not be enough to get through without some perfect driving here. You have to shave basically almost 1/10 and a half out of the normal time off of this car. So it becomes a, whoop, that's not going to do it. Didn't launch it right. It may still end up with a pretty good run, but I don't think it's going to be under 8.69 for that one. So if you drive it perfectly, you should still be able to get it, even with just nitrous and trans. See, that was very close. 8.69s is what you're looking for. I probably can eke it out, but it's going to be tough. Now, so the same would probably go true for engine and nitrous if you use those two. Plus, you may have to retune slightly to try to find the perfect tune area with the maximum Evo point that you can get out of the car. So it depends on a few factors, right? How well you drive, how many fusions you have, and whether the car specific tune as you play with it can do better. So there you go, that beats it. That'll get you through the final race, and that's nitrous and trans. Now, can you do it without nitrous in combination with something else, with just two? Probably, but it's going to be tough. Let's say we don't have nitrous and we have body and tire, right? These two are pretty strong. So again, the evo points tell the tale. If you can't tune it to a high enough evo, then you're probably not going to be able to pull it off. But if you can get it over or close to 750 plus, you have a chance. The key is now you have to really play with the tune to try to get that maximum amount of evo out of the car. So again, tuning changes the overall effect. 8.784 should do it, right? Because you know the car beats dyno. If it beats dyno by a tenth, that's an 8.684. You're good to go. And driven right, this car usually beats dyno by more than that. So there's another two that can do it without a third S6 installed. Fusions are very important. If you're missing fusions, for example, if you're missing 1 or 2 nitrous fusions, you may not be able to make the time. So epic fusions are important for this car. 8.688 will get me through the final race and take the 180k RP from the final race. So all these little combinations make a difference. So which two you have really affects how well and how likely you're able to beat the cup without extra work. If you don't have the right ones and you only have, say, these three, okay, even if you had all 3 of these, look at the evo points. That is going to be tough, but you have the boosts from an extra S6. So that should mean something, right? Sure it does. It'll mean you'll be at 8.9s, but not enough really to get you through. That's the problem always with every Prestige Cup. It really comes down to luck of the draw with which part S6 you get. And having the wrong 3 could be really bad for your chances of getting through. I don't think I would hit 8.6 because that's, again, full 2/10 plus better than dyno, and it's not as easy to hit. So if you have nitrous plus something, you're probably in good shape. But if you have nitrous plus intake, you're probably going to need a third S6. These are the basic combinations that you're kind of looking at. And again, if you're missing a bunch of fusions, especially the epic ones on the end there, you have to take that into account. But really what you're looking for is a combination of S6s and then looking at your final evo numbers. If your S6s are there and your evo numbers are there, regardless of how your car's set up, it should help you make it through. Now you can have, for example, 4 S6 installed with 600 evo, 600, let's say 50 evo, and you can still beat this. Because as you get more S6 in, it already put the base time down, so you don't need as much evo to get to that point. But if you're looking at only 2 S6 or 3 with 1 decent, 2 crappy ones, you're probably going to need something around 730 to 750 evo points to make it. Well, that is my discussion of the Cayman and its impact on performance from the S6. I hope this was helpful to you, because if you're kind of stuck and you're a little confused as to why, maybe this information will give you a little bit of enlightenment on why you're stuck and why having these 3 guys already here and you're missing some epics and somehow you just can't get under 8.9. Well, that's just because these 3 are just not that strong with performance. If you're lucky enough to at least get nitrous or at least get body and tire, you should be fine. I've now made it through the Prestige Cup on 2 separate cars. This one obviously no problem because it's maxed. On my second account, I had a total of 3 S6s. I'm missing 2 or 3 epic fusions, but I made it through without a problem. So again, luck of the draw here. There's nothing you can do about that. Well, I hope you liked the video and that it was helpful to you. Please feel free to comment, leave a like if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel as you will get notifications whenever I put up a new video. And I tend to do these evaluations on stage 6s regularly. I am also regularly updating Tempest information as I encounter different setups from different cars for use in Tempest 3. I also have done old videos on Tempest 1 and 2. Feel free to search for them if you're still going through those Tempest challenges. As always, thank you for watching and have a good one.